Hello and welcome to one of our videos in our occasional series on Scouts and Scouting. Today we are at St Mary's Church, Hartley Wespall, to commemorate the life and times of Rifleman Thomas Elliott. Thomas was born in Guildford in 1898, but in 1911 he was staying at his grandfather's house at Elliott's Corner, Hartley Wespall. He was 13 years old. His family were tailors and had lived here since the end of the 18th century. And we have a contemporary photograph of his house. We know from an old newspaper report that he had been an enthusiastic member of the Hartley Boy Scout troop. Baden-Powell inspected the Boy Scouts of Basingstoke Division on Saturday the 10th of December 1910. Afterwards he presented awards to the Scouts and Thomas was among those given his ambulance badge. Of the 15 troops that attended, 6 were under the charge of their female scout leader. This was so unusual that the chief scout remarked, "In no other place had he seen so many ladies as scoutmasters." Hartley Wespall was one of those troops that mustered 10 scouts under their scoutmaster, Miss V.N. Durnford. Just a few years later, the First World War began, and in 1915 Thomas signed on, whilst underage, to the 12th Battalion of the King's Royal Rifle Corps. We are not sure why he joined this particular regiment, but it might have been because of the presence of a prominent family in the village. The family's eldest son, Captain Richard Selby Durnford, had been killed in 1915 while serving with the 9th Battalion of the King's Royal Rifle Corps. A memorial in the church behind me to Captain Richard Durnford and Captain Robert Durnford, the sons of Richard and Beatrice Durnford of Hartley House, is on the south wall in the chancel. After initial training, Thomas was sent out to France and eventually arrived on the Somme with his battalion. On the 27th of August 1916, the King's Royal Rifle Corps relieved the Somerset Infantry in the front line at Guillemont, and on the 31st they were in Brigade Reserve at Bernafay Woods. Now it is Monday the 4th of September. Rain is falling. The temperature is around 16 degrees centigrade and the King's Royal Rifle Corps are once again in the front line. On Tuesday the 5th the temperature was 17 degrees centigrade and the sky overcast. During the day the King's Royal Rifle Corps were relieved by the Munster Fusiliers, and it may have been during the return to Briquetree that Rifleman Elliott received a serious head wound. After preliminary attention at the base hospital, he was transferred to the Duchess of Connaught's Canadian Red Cross Hospital in Taplow. There were some hopes for his recovery, but he gradually grew worse and passed away on the 19th of September. His funeral took place at St Mary's, Hartley Wespall on the 30th of September 1916. He was 18 years old. It's taken only a few minutes to tell all we know about Thomas, but our story would be the same if we were standing in the churchyards of Hartley Witney, Hawley, Hook, Rotherwick or Yateley. It is a sad truth that Thomas was not the only young man to die in similar circumstances in those 4 terrifying years. We hope you've enjoyed this short video and look forward to seeing you again. Thank you and goodbye.